Hello and welcome to Friday's first edition of Cracking the Cryptic. This is the one where I do actually try and crack a cryptic crossword. Today's Times crossword, this one, and talk you through the thoughts as to how to approach it. I always enjoy recording these videos every week. And thanks to those of you who stuck with the series and continue to claim to enjoy it anyway. Today's puzzle is by Mark Kelmanson. Monk, some of you may know Mark as. And I remember my first Monk puzzle was a listener crossword back in the day. And I can't remember the details of it completely now. But, well, it was 25 years ago, at least. It was at least 25 years ago. And it had, I think it had like a ratio. I want to say it had like a triangle in the grid with, and you had to identify a ratio. And I remember just being astonished at how clever it was. It was just a beautiful puzzle, and it's part of the reason I got addicted to the listener crossword in the first place all those years ago. Now that Mark Monk. Yes, so you are responsible for goodness knows how many hours I then wasted over the next several years solving the listener crossword puzzles, or you're at least partly responsible. And I'm looking forward to doing battle with this puzzle today, which I understand is quite hard. Let's have a look at the stats. The snitch is very high. Okay, so we've got typists until number 6. Number 6 is the first real time there. Matthew Marcus, Verlaine, 7 minutes 34. That's probably at least 2 minutes slower than Matthew's average time. I don't know Lily. Jason James I do know. 9 minutes 24. That's again very slow for Jason. Again indicating the puzzle's hard. Misty Griss, Andrew Fisher. Let's go a bit further down, just see if I recognise any other. Magoo, that's Mark Goodliffe. That is the 13-time Times crossword champion. 11 minutes 20. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, that means this is going to be brutal. Absolutely brutal. Oh dear. Okay. Oh, have I got a dictionary? I do, but it's not in the right place. Let's just shift that across. Actually, if you want to see Mark solving, then I think Mark has just uploaded his latest solve of the Times Club Monthly Special puzzle, which is a vicious puzzle. I think actually Mark Kelmanson might be one of the setters of that puzzle now. It alternates month by month between Mark and Roger Phillips, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, that's a properly difficult puzzle, and Mark always tries to do that without a dictionary. So even if you consider yourself to be a total expert at solving cryptic crosswords, I recommend watching that video, because watching anybody attempt those puzzles without a dictionary is really truly impressive, and it gives, I think, a testament to the mind-blowing ability that Mark has for solving these puzzles. Anyway, so that's over on Patreon right now. I don't have any birthdays to do today. Is there anything else I meant to mention? I can't remember. Hopefully not. So let's get cracking. Let's have a look at Times Cryptic. It's this one we're going to try, and hopefully the window's in the right place. Let's get cracking. One across. In which rook may fly to mate. That's a beautiful clue. And then why do I say that when I haven't got a clue what the answer is? I say it because... why do I say it? I say it because it immediately conjures up two such different scenarios in my mind. One of which is the bird, the rook, flying to its mate, another rook. The other, of course, is chess. In which rook may fly to mate. I mean, is it something? Is it chess something? Chess? I'm not sure. I don't know. A quick I make no excuses, by the way, for going through a lot of thoughts as we go through these clues, because I assume that anybody watching these videos is not an expert solver and will want to learn how to solve. So if I do say the same things every week, it's because we pick up new viewers all the time, or viewers who may only have watched one or two of these videos, and the idea of these videos is to improve and teach people how to read these clues. So sorry, there was somebody who commented last week to say, could I keep it at a higher level? No, sorry, I can't. 7 across. Anyway, what I wanted to say is every one of these clues has a quick crossword definition in it. So and it's normally at the start or the end. So if we can get good at pulling the definition out of the clue, we could in effect reduce this puzzle to being a quick crossword. So if we look at 7 across, 1/2 of crime mystery, it's very likely that this is a 4-letter word which either means 1/2, or mystery probably, rather than crime mystery. I mean, the way I think this might work is we might have 1, which could be I or A here, 1/2 of a word that means crime, and then the whole of the 4-letter word will mean mystery. But I'm not thinking of whatever that myth. No. No, I'm not getting that one either. Shall we try? Let's try 2 down. Although it's not going to be very good. It's not going to give us any starting letters. Boarding houses confine children to keep quiet, essentially. Goodness me. Boarding houses confine children to keep quiet, essentially. I mean, it's so cleverly worded again. I mean, but it's also got those sort of hallmarks of cryptic crossword clues. Words like houses. If a word houses another word, it might, that other word might be inside the word boarding, or a word for boarding. But this might be a word for boarding houses, like dormitories or something. Confine children. Pen. Some word for children. And the word the words quiet, essentially. I think what that's requiring us to do is to take the essence of the word quiet. Now, what's the essence of the word quiet? I think it's its heart, its middle letter. So I'm wondering if we have to put I in the middle of words which mean confine and children. I mean, okay, here's a word that you could make using that wordplay, and that would be the word pensions. Boarding houses. Is there another meaning of a pension apart from the obvious one? Boarding, or is there a cryptic way of reading boarding houses that might mean pensions? Confine, pen, sons are children, keeping the essence of quiet, keeping I, pensions? Could be. I quite like that. I have no absolute, that's not ringing the faintest scintilla of a bell in my mind that there might be another meaning of pension I've ever seen which is the same as boarding houses. But if it was right, P would be here. In which rook may fly to mate. I don't know. 3 down. I've got no answers so far. Stopping for a smaller number of sheep. Goodness me. I mean, we are in the hands of a master here. This is clever stuff. I haven't got a clue what this is. Stopping for a smaller number of sheep. So again, what I'm trying to do here is to read this clue and decide in my own mind whether I think this is a word that means stopping or whether it means sheep. I mean, there are some short synonyms for sheep, things like ewe, ram, teg. I think teg is a sheep. Stopping for a smaller number. Oh, I see. Fewer. Oh my goodness, that's difficult. That is so difficult. Right. Goodness me. It's you is the answer, I think. Now, I mean, this is really difficult. So we have to think of a synonym here for a smaller number of something. If you said what could mean a smaller number of something, it would be fewer of that thing. And stopping the word fewer, i.e. corking it, might be a word for stopping is a word that might mean the same as corking. In other words, sort of filling it. Is the word fewer is filled by the word ewe, which is a synonym for a sheep. So, look, you do that, you solve that monstrous clue, and you get an E and an E as the checking letters. That's so harsh. And if this was P, upper something would fit. In which rook may fly to mate. Upper. In which rook may fly. Speed chess. Speed chess is what it is. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's speed chess. I think it's sort of like a cryptic definition. So, actually, this is an interesting one. So I said at the start that we could distill all the clues into quick crossword clues. Well, that's true. But you may look at this clue and say, hang about, where's the quick crossword clue in this? And that would be fair. That would be fair. There is one type of clue which is called a cryptic definition, where the whole clue needs to be read, and it's often indicated by a question mark at the end of the clue. A question mark doesn't need to indicate the clue as a cryptic definition, but it might do. And here there is a question mark. So we read the whole thing, and we think about it in a sort of weird lateral way. And I think what the constructor is saying is, I am presenting you with a scenario in which it appears like a bird has to fly across to its mate in some situation. But we could obviously read this cryptically, I suppose, as having a chess connotation. And if the rook was, if you were playing speed chess, the rook might be flying across the board to achieve mate. So speed chess looks good. I'm going to put in pensions. I'm not going to look this up yet because I'm still not sure it's right. But I will now look at 4 down. First hint of chest. Pain in store. Okay. This one at least I can do. So, make up your own minds. What do you think the definition is in this clue? Do you think it's first hint, or pain in store, or in store, or just store? And once you've made a decision, try and justify it in your make a justification in your mind as to why you think that's right. Now, the way to read this is, or the key to understanding which part of this clue is the definition, is actually to work out what first hint of might mean. Now, in cryptic crossword land, constructors have all sorts of ways of picking particular letters out of words. We saw it earlier with the essence here. Quiet, essentially, we thought might be the heart of the word quiet. Now here, I think first hint of is saying take the first letter of the word chest. And that C there is very nice in that context. Now if that's right, we're then going to need a 4-letter word which means pain. And we're going to create, in here is doing the sort of duty of an equal sign. Sometimes I talk about these clues as having a sort of mathematical equation equivalent. So here you've got sort of first hint of chest plus pain equals in a word that means store. And if you thought of the word cash, well done, ache being the word for a pain. I was expecting couch actually as I was reading the clue, but no, it was cash. Now what's this? En masse maybe. In a group, en masse looks good. Turned out active men working round ship in a group. Now that it is en masse. I'm just trying to see exactly why. I think I'm going to write it in, and then I'm going to try and justify it. So obviously, if it is en masse, in a group is the definition. So we need to work out how the rest of the wordplay, how the rest of the clue is giving us these letters en masse. Now, how does this work? Ship, I suspect, is SS, which actually I was at a crossword event a month or two back, and someone was saying that this is so antiquated it should be banned from crosswords nowadays. But it's something we all know. If you've been doing cryptic crosswords at all, you'll know that ship is often SS. And I think it's from the definition steamship, which is obviously quite an old type of ship. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, steamship, SS. So if ship was SS, I can see we've got men and we've got AE as well. Oh, turn it right. Right, goodness me. So here, when it says turned out active, it's literally saying turn out the word active, remove its contents. So if we take the contents out of the word active, we're just left with A and E, and then we've got AE and men working. Now working here is being used as an anagram indicator. So you probably, if you're new to puzzles, you may have heard or suspect that cryptic crosswords use a lot of anagrams. They do, but remember this, the constructor must always tell you that the clue involves an anagram. There must always be a word or a phrase that means mix things up or do some work to the letters. And so working here is being used in that context. So we've got AE and men being anagrammed around SS for ship to give a word meaning en masse, or a word meaning in a group, which is en masse. Now note here, there's no word doing the duty of the equal sign. There doesn't have to be a word that does the duty of the equal sign. Sometimes there will be, sometimes there won't be. It will often depend on what the constructor needs to make the clue read well. And here, there was no need for an equal sign equivalent. Now this looks like intercom, doesn't it? Communication device. It must be intercom. Beginning to malfunction on clapped out citron. Okay. So if we suspect the answer is intercom, again, try and justify it. Beginning to malfunction. Now that's literally saying take the beginning of the word malfunction, that's M, and put that on clapped out citron. Well, clapped out is being used as an anagram indicator. So sort of a very poorly maintained word citron. So we've got an anagram of citron plus M to give it intercom. Obviously that clue is made a lot easier by having all of those check letters. Now let's try 6 down. Herb succeeded by saving a great deal of money. Succeeded by saving a great deal of money. Okay, so again we're faced with the same task each time. What side of the clue is the definition? If you asked me to bet here, I would say it was the word herb, but I might be wrong. I haven't got this. Succeeded, though, is a weird word. I say this every week, but it is possible. Many words in cryptic crosswords clues will have an abbreviation, and they'll be used for that purpose. Now, succeeded, if we go to the dictionary under S, I think we will find. Now we won't find it, and I'll feel like a bit of a wally, but no, there. Succeeded. S. So, any abbreviation like that has to be supported by the dictionary. It's not acceptable for Monk to use saving, for example, for the word S, because if we look under S in the dictionary, we will not find that it is a valid abbreviation of the word saving. But succeeded, yes. So that could be this S, which would again support the sort of my contention that this might be a word that means sage. Herb. Sage being the only herb I've come up with. Saffron is a herb. Sage is a herb. See, if this is right, there needs to be something about this that's indicating a great deal of money. A fortune, Oh, I know what this is. No, I don't know what it is. I think it ends in X. Buy. There is a herb, isn't there? Oh dear, I'm so bad at anything culinary. Oh, Simon, what is it? I think I will get this. I think it is there. It's in my memory bank. I have to reboot my brain until it gives me the answer. Oh, Simon. Okay, but why do I think that this ends in X? It's this word buy. Because if you said to somebody, if you gave them a times table, you might say, what's 7 by 8? Everyone would understand that was 7 times 8. And how would you indicate times in mathematics? With a cross. So I think this might be succeeded by SX, saving, so having within it a word, or, well, A is probably that, and then a great deal of money. Probably ending in E? I know this word. I know I do. Oh, it's not coming to me. If I get 10 across, I might get it. Exchange for notes and coins remains after banks in Elgin close as early as possible. Exchange for notes. Okay, I've got this. This is. I really like this style of cluing because it's very original. It's very original. So we looked earlier about how quiet essentially was indicating the letter I. Now what Monk's doing here is he's taking this to extremes. So have you made up your mind as to what you think the definition is here? If you said the definition is exchange for notes and cat coins, well done, you are correct. Now, how do we deconstruct the rest of it? Remains. Well, remains, often in cryptic crossword land, are ash, the remains of a fire. So, ash might be in this answer somewhere. After banks in Elgin, that's not referring to, like, the HSBC in the town of Elgin. It's referring to the banks of the word Elgin, its first and last letters. So we're viewing the word Elgin as sort of, the E and the N are the sides of the river through which the L, G and I make their way. So we have remains after banks in Elgin, EN, close as early as possible. I've never seen this before, but it's saying, what's the earliest letter in the word close? And the earliest letter is the first letter, which is C. And then we put ash after it, we get encash, which I guess must mean exchange for notes and coins. Oh no, so this is wrong. Hang on. I made my assumption about this having an A here. In cash is definitely right. Okay, I don't know then. Let's try this one. 13 across. Repeatedly cut extra diamonds for vestment. Okay, so again, make up your mind what you think the definition is. I haven't solved this, but I'm very sure I know what the definition is in this one. If you thought it was vestment, you're right, I think. Repeatedly cut extra diamonds. Okay. Oh, I have got this. I think. I've thought of a vestment that has a very useful ending. Okay, how do I think I've got this? Well, can you think of any short synonyms for diamonds? And there are two that I think you should definitely be aware of. One would be D, and that's from bridge scoring, the game of bridge. If somebody bid 1 diamond, you might, or 2 diamonds, let's use that because it's plural, you might put 2D on a scorecard. So diamonds could be D. However, diamonds, colloquially, could be ice as well. Now, if that's right, could this end in ice? Can we think of a vestment? What about a surplice? Now, why is this repeatedly cut? Extra. Surplus. Okay, so surplus is a word that means extra. If we cut that word repeatedly, we remove its last 2 letters, so we get surplus. We add ice to it, surplice, which is a vestment. Now, oh dear, dear, dear. Herb succeeded by saving a great deal of money. I suppose I should look at the X in this one. Stage production of Dante's Inferno, maybe. Put oneself at risk. Stage production of Dante's Inferno, maybe. Put oneself at risk. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure I know which side of that clue is the definition. Stage production. Could it just be the name of a play? But phrases that mean put oneself at risk, I bet there are some. Oh dear. Let's try 11 across. Thick rod in which nothing leaves dent. Thick rod in which nothing leaves dent. Again, I'm not sure. It could mean thick rod, or it could mean dent, and it seems to require nothing to leave a word. Now, nothing is often O, because it looks like nothing. So we might be looking for a 7-letter word that means dent, and we're going to take an O out of that to give a thick rod. Or it might be a 7-letter thick rod in which O leaves to create a 6-letter word which means dent. And I'm not seeing that, so should we try this one? Somehow he felt done in, where going on would be futile. Okay, that one is doable, I think. I think that one is doable. So the word somehow here is often used to indicate an anagram, because what it's doing is saying take the letters he felt done, probably in as well. I haven't worked out quite how long the anagram is. He felt done in, and present them somehow. So somehow those letters could be in another how. they could be presented differently. And where going on would be futile, well, I think that's going to be end of the road or end of the line, I think. I think end of the line looks like the better anagram fit there. So end of the line. I've still got this problem with my E key that keeps repeating on me. Now this X looks terrible, doesn't it? Spearmint. Oh no, I'm totally wrong. I am totally wrong. Herb is spearmint, isn't it? Why? Succeeded by saving a mint is a great deal of money. By saving a... Oh my goodness, that's clever. Wow. Okay. So I've totally misled you here. I thought this was going to end in X. It's some sort of word like sassafrage or something I'm thinking of that for some reason in my head has some X connotation. I'm really sorry, but it's got nothing to do with this. So, 6 down. Herb. Spearmint. Succeeded. S. By is per. If you said by per capita, you would mean per person. No, that's a bad example. Per and by. Per mark, Sudoku is great would mean, according to Mark, by Mark, Sudoku is great. So per and by are synonymous. Saving a. So the word per saves within it. It contains the letter A, and that gives us pear, and then great deal of money is mint, to give spearmint overall. Not easy at all. Now, have we looked at the... No, we haven't. Undesirable decision amended under FO, Foreign Office checks. Undesirable decision. Undesirable decision amended under FO checks. I don't know what that is. I'm just going to have a look at 8 down. Wretched person belonging to religious faction. Okay, that's slightly easier. So again, try and make up your mind what you think the definition is here. If you thought it was wretched person, no, congratulations, that's correct. Wretched person fitting into this. And the way to get that is belonging to. If you belong to a club, you are in the club, aren't you? So in a religious faction, you could think of cult, or you could think of sect. Insect, and an insect is a wretched person. So let's see if we can get 7 across now. 1/2 of crime, mystery. Could be a word that means 1, if a unit might be. Half of crime, mystery. That is right. It's who done it. Oh, that's vicious. That is vicious. Okay, that's quite an interesting one, actually, because who done it, I think, has about 9 different spellings. And I'll tell you for a fact that clues that require a great deal of removal are often thought of as being just a trifle unfair, because you have to, here, to solve this clue and understand it, I think you have to think of the word whodunit and then take half of that word to get... so I think the answer is unit. How sure am I? That could be uncalled for. It probably is uncalled for. So I think I'm pretty sure this is unit. I'm going to look up the spellings of whodunit, because I think it can have double N. Yeah, it can. So you have to think of the word whodunit in the second form and then take half of it. So the solver has to do quite a lot of work there to solve that clue, with not much checking available. Effectively, you've got a U and an I that you could get in that word whodunit, in that 8-letter word, which is quite a lot. You know, it's quite unchecked, I suppose, the whole thing you're relying on for the clue. That's what I'm trying to get at. But anyway, 1 is unit, half of whodunit. The second half, indeed, is UNIT, if you spell whodunit without double N. So that's I think that's difficult. Now, I think this is uncalled for because it fits, but let's try and work out why. That looked like my F didn't actually produce. My F isn't in my E. There's something going on my keyboard. Right, undesirable is uncalled for, isn't it? So decision amended under FO. Oh, good. That's just really clever. Good grief. A decision is a call. If you make a call, you make a decision, don't you? And what? So the way that the grammar here is extraordinarily brilliant. You have the word call for decision, and then you have an amended form of the letters under FO, and they are going to check. So they're going to sort of stifle or strangle the word call. So we have an anagram of under FO checking call. And that gives uncalled for. And I am very relieved I had all those checking letters, because that would have been monumentally hard. Oh, and look, I don't have my X now in this one. With, that could be, or into. Stage production. No, I don't know. Of Dante's Inferno, maybe. Put oneself at risk. Play with fire. That must be right. A stage production of Dante's Inferno, maybe. That's brilliant. But is it play? It is Dante's Inferno is, or could be, a play with fire in it. So that's just a joke. But a stage production of Dante's Inferno, maybe. And it also means, of course, to put oneself at risk is to play with fire. That was the Dent one, wasn't it? Have we looked at this? No. Ridiculing band. Turning up repeatedly during middle of night. Okay, I haven't got this, but I'm pretty sure I know what the definition is. Now, how do I know it? Well, it's actually the phrase middle of night. In a cryptic crossword land, I don't think that is referring to the middle of the night, you know, that we've just slept through, for example. I think it's referring to the middle of the word night. I could be wrong, though, because during... Oh, no, during. Yeah, during will be in. Middle of night, G. That gives ing, which is a very, very likely ending to the word, isn't it? Band turning up repeatedly. It's something like... I don't know what it is, actually. But I think it ends in ing. And I think it means ridiculing. Poo-pooing. Hoop. There we go. Poo-pooing. So hoop for band. Turns up repeatedly. So reverses twice. During, in, middle of night, G. And we've managed to put that together. So is this dimple? Thick. Yeah. It's not a thick rod. It's a word that means thick, and if you're thick, you're dim. And a rod is a pole in which we'll take the nothing out and we'll get PLE for dimple. So we've done the top half anyway. It's been difficult, but we have got there. Now, 15 down, beginning with T. Betrayer, traitor. Betrayer's characteristic concerning heads of security service. This, I don't know. What my brain is saying here is this is a word that means betrayer. Characteristic, it's shouting trait. That's got like a bit of traitor in it. Is it just traitress? Oh, is that could be a word. I mean, it's not a word I know, but like a female traitor. Would that be a traitress? Characteristic, trait. Concerning, re. If something is on the subject of something, it's re it. And then the heads, the first letters of the words security and service, double S. So traitress is what I would go for. Oh, I've just remembered pensions. Okay, well, I can't change it now. Let's look that up. Good grief. A continental boarding house. Well, forgive me for not knowing that. Wow. I mean, wow. Okay. That's vicious. Absolutely vicious. Let's try 18 down. I've got a W. Dodgy dealers. Extra float. Picked up. I know this one. I don't know why. It harks back to my youth. I think when I was just going into start work, the city was full of people who were referred to in this manner. So, dodgy dealer is what we need here. Extra. If you see extra in a cryptic crossword world, be aware that cryptic crossword writers know everything there is to know about the game of cricket. So it's very often going to be talking about the various forms of extra that you can get in cricket. Now you can get a bye, a leg bye, a no ball. You could get a wide. So I think this is wide. And then we've got a homophone, float picked up. What that is referring to is a boy, as in B-U, it is B-U-O-Y, isn't it? I never know how to spell boy, but I think it is B-U-O-Y. There we go. Boy. A float. It's literally a float, something that floats on the water. Now, there is no way of detecting a difference in sound between the word boy, B-U-O-Y, the float, and the word boy, B-O-Y, being the child, a male child. So picked up here is saying it's a word that sounds like another but has a different meaning and is spelt differently. So wide boy is what we've got there for the dodgy dealer. Now we should be able to get this one now. Style something, I don't know. Work unexpectedly on the sly secures one way to get a buzz. Work unexpectedly on the sly secures one, or what secures one way to get a buzz. I don't know this. I think it's a phrase or a word that means to get a buzz. The question mark there is a bit terrifying, isn't it? I don't know it. I'm wondering if it was an anagram of on the sly somehow. Not sure. Should we try? Let's try 19 down. On the basis, if we could somehow solve this, we would be hopefully golden for these three acrosses. Help mainly supported by one Umbrian town. Oh goodness, I hope this isn't going to be a town in Umbria. Oh, unless it's a CC. Is a CC in Umbria? I don't even know. That's so embarrassing. I mean, the way I'm reading that is help mainly. Can I think of any 6-letter words that mean help? Because I'm going to take the bulk of the word, not the whole thing, almost the entirety of it, the main part of it. And assist jumped to mind. So if that's right, we take assist, but we take mainly it, so we chop off its last letter and we support it with 1, which is the Roman numeral, or I, sorry, which is the Roman numeral for 1. We get Assisi, which could be Francis of Assisi. I don't know. That's so bad that I don't know where Assisi is, but I mean, it could be. It could be in Umbria. We'll go for that, I think. Now, is this assorted then? Classified might mean assorted. Ad covering, second excursion that avoids island. It must be so. I think it's assorted, but I'm not sure why. Let's see. Ad covering. I mean, let's just admire the words, by the way, because if you weren't used to the trickery that cryptic crossword writers love to engender in their clues, it's very easy to read this clue as classified ad, covering second excursion. But because I suppose I'm used to the fact that I just ignore the surfaces are so often misleading. So because I don't see classified ad as a unit, I see classified. Can I think of the answer? Oh yeah, maybe assorted. You know, you can actually separate it in your brain. But ad covering, well, that's A and D, covering. Second can be S as an abbreviation. Oh, a sortie. Sort of a military sortie is an excursion, isn't it? S-O-R-T-I-E, that avoids island. Now, if we look under I here, we will find one of the abbreviations is island. So we have sortie without the I. It avoids the I. We get assorted, which means classified. Now, 22 across. Old instrument with ridges, mostly seen outside India. Oh my goodness. Cool. Dear, I don't know. That's a terrifying clue, because, I mean, there must be 100 words that fit this pattern. And I think we're looking for an old instrument, so an old musical instrument, probably. And I think, again, I'm not sure, we're looking for a word that means with ridges, mostly. So, again, probably a 6-letter word, which means with ridges. Hilled? Seen outside India. Well, India is in the international radio alphabet. People would use things like Romeo for R, Alpha for A, Juliet Bravo for J and B, I think. But India is used for I. So one of these I's, I think, is India. And then I think we're looking for a 6-letter word which means with ridges. So probably that is going to be a word that ends ED. And we're saying most of that word, so we chop off the D. And the whole thing is the name of an old instrument. I saw an Abyssinian maid, and on a dulcimer she played. I mean, there are so many weird old instruments. I'm trying to think what it could be, and I'm doing a terrible job. I'm currently on L, going through the alphabet for this first letter. So if I've already gone past the answer, that is another instance of me being a fool on camera. Old instrument. With ridges. Something's with ridges. It's sort of noduled, isn't it? It's tiered or something, is it? No, I think that's going to have too many vowels. With ridges. I don't know. Let's check this is right. Part of spectrum in glaze of certain pottery. Okay. Well, these are the ones that when you're really new to cryptic crosswords, you look out for. There tends to be one in every Times crossword, and it's a hidden answer. I.e., the answer to this clue is actually spelt out in the clue. Now, when there is a hidden, the constructor has to tell you to take a bit of the wording of the clue, and here it's very clear. Part of. So part of the string spectrum in glaze. If you look in the middle of that, you will find spelt out M-I-N-G, Ming, which is of certain pottery, Ming pottery. I think I'll come back to this and hope that my brain thinks about it in the background. I've done my complete alphabet trawl. I have not got it. Old instrument with ridges. With ridges. If something is with ridges, it is... I don't know, B as a starting letter feels like it might be. If something is with ridges, it's... I don't know, scaled. Something is scaled, it's with ridges, but that's not right, because I need an I in my word. I don't know. Okay, have we looked at this one? No. Cycling laden runs into marsh creature. Okay, I haven't got this, but I think, okay, again, try and make up your own mind as to what you think the definition is. I think it's the word creature here. Why do I think that? Well, cycling is a word I'm seeing more and more in Cryptic Crossword land, where what it requires, like if we cycle literally the word laden, we might put the first letter of laden to its end. So we get A-D-E-N-L. Or if we cycle it again further, we might put the A then after the L. So then we get D-E-N-L-A. So it might be telling us to do that. Runs could be R, again from cricket. And into some synonym for marsh. Well, I can think of a short synonym for marsh that begins with B. I'm thinking bog. So is there some sort of hog or no? Where do we think the O goes? If it was bullfrog, full, yeah, bullfrog is the answer for our creature. So the way this works, laden, if a ship is laden, it's full. It's completely weighted down, isn't it? So we've got full cycling, so U-L-L, we put the first letter, the F to the end. Runs is R, as we thought, and then bog going all around it, and we get bullfrog. Let's try this one. Note female that amazes me. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, note is a terrifying word in Cryptic Crosswords, because whether it's part of the wordplay or the definition, there are so many ways of reading the word. Note can be just the letter N. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. We'll just check that for a moment, but I think it can be. I think it can be. Note, yeah. So the word note could be the N. However, it could just be a musical note. A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. Or it could be the spelling of musical notes. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Now each of those has different spellings, by the way. For example, do, I think, can be D-O and also D-O-H. I hope I'm not misinforming you there. Let's have a look. So if we look under just D-O, do to see do, and I think this is going to be a syllable representing the first note of the scale in the solfa notation. So that's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Now fa has two spellings, F-A and F-A-H, and I think that is what we need here. Female can be F, abbreviated, and that amazes me. You go, A-H is the spelling of that. So that gives far, and I think that's the answer. Let me just demonstrate. I think far like that, the fourth note, also anglicised in spelling as FAH. I think that's what we're looking for here. Let's try 21 down. Eastern European getting tummy upset over outburst. Eastern European getting tummy upset over outburst. Okay, I don't know how I've got this, but I have. So here, what we have to do, I mean, this is quite difficult actually, is we have to again think about our cricket scoring. So over is one of those dreadful words where, from a wordplay perspective, especially in a down clue, if you put something over something else, you would put it on top of it. So it could be a wordplay indicator, indicating position. However, in cricket scoring, if somebody's bowled 13 overs, you might write 13-0. And that's what's going on here. This O, this over, is the letter O, and it goes there. So we need this is a 5-letter word that means outburst. And I think the answer is salvo, which is the Eastern European is the Slav with its tummy upset, so with its inside upset. So it becomes salve plus O. I mean, that's very difficult indeed. 21 across. Moved to act after sons welled up. I thought that might be scried, S-C-R-I-E-D. I'm not sure if that is a word. I think it is. But I don't like the grammar there. I think it's more likely that this is a 5-letter word which means moved to act. And that goes after S, which is an abbreviation for son and sons. And the whole thing means welled up. Yeah. Surged would work, wouldn't it? If you urged somebody to do something, you would move them to act. So I think urged after S, surged, welled up. That feels right. 16 down. Look of disapproval about withdrawn support. Capital. Aha. I can do this one. Okay, I play enough golf to know how to do this one. Support. If you see that in cryptic crosswords, can you think of a short synonym for the word support? Now, as a noun, something that supports a golf ball would be a T. T-double-E. Now, that's being withdrawn in this answer. Now, where could we withdraw the word T? The only place would be like that, wouldn't it? So if you haven't got the answer, think about it now, because it's a really helpful thought to think about reversing T in this answer. And we're looking for Freetown. And a frown is a look of disapproval, and that goes about the withdrawal of the T. Now, what is this? Don't know. I keep thinking of sycophant, but it isn't that. Right. Work unexpectedly. On the way, on the sly. It does look like an anagram of on the sly. Secures one. Way to get a buzz. Work. I know this is easy. I know you're all laughing at me. I can't see it. Work unexpectedly. Way to get a buzz. Oh, is it something like skydiving or something? Or sky... Sky something? Way to get a buzz. Work? Work is difficult. I mean, because work has... If something works, it goes. So work and go are synonymous. Work could be OP, believe it or not, because OP is an abbreviation of opus, as in a musical work. That's used quite often. Work could be an anagram indicator. If you work at dough, you might need it. But you wouldn't need the word unexpectedly if work was being used as an anagram indicator, because work on the sly could be saying anagram on the sly. Work unexpectedly on the sly is overdoing it. So work unexpectedly on the sly. Secures one. Way to get a buzz. And the way to get a buzz has got a question mark as well. So, you know, you've got to be thinking about, is it something to do with insects, or, you know, way to get a buzz, leave my window open the last few days. Sky. What is the activity if it's sky here? And what's the wordplay? How's that working? Work unexpectedly on the sly. Secures one. One would normally be A or I. But I don't really like... I mean, if you look at this collection of letters and say, where do you put the A or the I in here? Way to get a buzz. I don't know what that one is. Okay, so I've got two left, and I'm a bit nervous about both of them. I mean, I think eventually I'll think of 26 across. This one I'm less sure about. Old instrument with ridges. If something has ridges, it is uneven, isn't it? It's... I mean, it's not... I wondered if it was some form of pipe. Or fife is a word that means pipe, isn't it? With ridges. So blank IPPED with ridges. Ripped. If something's ripped, is it with... If your abs are ripped, do they have ridges? With ridges. It feels more like humped or dimpled or ridged. No, it can't. I mean, it couldn't be that, could it? Riddage. And literally, with ridges, ridged. Oh dear. I mean, that's... well, there's many reasons to be fearful about that. I've never seen that word in my life before. Could it be an old instrument? A riddage? I mean, it's literally with ridges. Ridged. I don't know, that could be right. But I've got no real... Oh, it's right. It's right, and I'll tell you why it's right. I tell you why it's right. I think it begins with R. Sorry, I've just noticed. Look down the unchecked letters. Sidearm. And this looks like it's trying to spell out the edge. Oh, that's really interesting. So riddage looks more likely than ever now. And let's just give it a quick further thought. If it was, we now know if sidearm is right, we're looking for RI blank blank ED, I think, that means with ridges. So ribbed. Oh no, I mean that a rebibe. Oh no, I don't know. Or is it ripped, as in abs? Ribbed. I think ribbed does mean with ridges. Rebibe. I mean, it's better in a way with ridges being ridged. I mean, that might be because it's such a difficult word. It has to be the most obvious thing. A rebibe. Or could it be something else? With ridges. I would imagine there's quite a lot of words that you could stretch to mean with ridges. I mean, words like ricked, could that mean? I don't know. I think I'm tempted to go with rebibe. Let's look it up. I'm going with rebibe, unless the dictionary. Boom! It can't have a meaning that's not my meaning. What was it meant to mean? An old instrument. Oh, Rebeck. Yeah, okay, a Rebeck. That is some sort of weird old instrument. I mean, that's fish. That is one of the hardest clues I think I've ever seen in the Times. Because you've got to consider the possibility that a rebibe is a thing. And then you've got to think of with ridges mostly. And I think there are definitely other options. That's vicious. That's just purely vicious. I suppose with sidearm. If I hadn't seen sidearm and I didn't know the R. Wow. Anyway, can we get this one now? Something phone. Oh, it will be. It's going to be some weird styrofoam or stylofoam or something. Work. Yeah, okay. Work is OP. Just as Protoss is currently OP in StarCraft 2, work is OP. And then, unexpectedly on the sly, is saying anagram on the sly. And that phrase, or that string of letters on the sly, will secure the work, the OP. So, if we do that, can we create something that means anything useful? Is it styrofoam? No, that hasn't got an L in it. Oh, stylofoam. Stylofoam. That's got a T. Stylofoam. I've never heard of a stylofoam, but I guess it's a way to get a buzz. Let's have a look. Stylo. Oh dear. Oh no, it's not. Oh, that's very annoying. I must have just got my anagram wrong. Hang on, let me just go back to my. Let me go back to my. What did I do wrong here with my anagram? S. It must be OP for work. It must be. That gives me the opportunity to create the phone, which I presume is what we need to do. And then I've got S, L, Y, and T at the start. So slitophone? No. I still think I would go with this. I mean, I wouldn't have thought to look it up. I'm going to go with it. And if it's wrong, we'll investigate further. It's right, so it is stylophone. It's just not in the dictionary. I don't think it is stylophone. How close does it get? Stylo. It's got stylograph. I don't know. Well, this is the downside of using my old dictionary. Shane always criticises me for not updating. I'm too mean. Anyway, we've solved it, and I actually well, it's a very clever grid, isn't it? With sidearm and the edge. There might be other things hidden in here, and it was actually extremely useful, especially this R, to give me the chance to get Rebeck. I'd be interested in the comments on this one. I'm not surprised there are some slower times, because that was very cool, but there were a couple of answers in there that were vicious. Now let's see if I can redeem myself. I do like to have a quick go at the cryptic, although with my E key repeating at the moment, this could be even worse than usual. Let's see though. Restaurant rubbish history, rotisserie perhaps. That could be wrong, but there's Lake Erie in there. Sanction, process of becoming a ratification. That's really nice. Somewhere along Rocky Height, you and I stand high. Tower? Is it tower? Probably. Agent grasses up enemy spy. What's this then? Tawny. Quickness of European pole on board. Esprit or something, not sure. I'll turn up. I visit mostly without I don't know. High region, covered in thick mist earlier. Oh, it was going well, now it's not. Heads, CO, Cocoa, I think that is. That's easier. Top clubs, recharge one's batteries. Don't know. English appeal, overdraw. I can do that one. Tie. What could be on? Actor is easy to carry around. Don't know. One rejected from openly gay outcast. Come running about a brief character role. Cameo? Yes. Contaminate fully fledged ecstasy with speed. That's something. Oh, it's adulterate. I knew it ended. I knew how it ended. I just couldn't see the beginning. Is that Q? Probably. Gateway portal. I'm doing this in a very haphazard way. Donkey left in large area of pasture. Grassland? Yes. Oh dear. That's totally not the fault of my E key. That's just my fault. What? Oh. I don't know. What's that one then? 4 something? High region. Covered in thick mist. Earlier. I should be able to get that. I can't. Make wooden box with key inserted. Create. 9 across. I need this really. Perhaps vinyl LP, more damaged around the start of yesterday. Perhaps vinyl, it must be. Polymer, that's a nice clue. Quickness, is this esprit then? European pole, maybe sprit. Or spree. Yeah, maybe that is right. I'll turn up. I visit mostly with illogical. Top clubs, recharge one's batteries. Top. The cream or something, I'm not sure. Electrical unit, ampere, checked after removal of terminals. Could be that, I'm not sure. Time regularly needed, that's era. Breaststroke is what that is. Cress, oh rest, yeah. What could be on actor is easy to carry around on location. I think it's an anagram, this one. I just can't see what it is. Easy to carry around on location. That is gamma. It's an anagram. Something light, then, presume. Spotlight? Oh, yes, it is. That was not an anagram. And then we've got this foregoing. Earlier, foregoing, yeah. Okay, so we did finish it, I think. I might have had a typo or two. Oh. I might have had a typo or two. And indeed, I did. I mean, please can we all agree? I did say gamma. I was trying to type gamma. I do not know how I didn't. And that has totally and utterly done for me. So where would 414 have been? Oh dear. Had I been in any way, it would have been top 20. Not great, but something. Look at Chloe Hutton, 2 minutes 21. That's a real time. That's real. Incredible. Incredible and incredibly annoying. Not only super fast, but super correctly typed. Anyway, there we go. Please do, if you do like these videos, please do drop a comment. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. It helps with the algorithm. And yeah, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.